What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with Next Gen NYC Season 1, Episode 5, Zero Bucks Given. Y'all, sorry I'm late, but I still have a lot more videos to drop before today and tomorrow, so I'll do 4 today, the last 4 tomorrow, and I'll be caught up. The only thing I haven't really gotten back into is Jenny and Georgia, which I will add that once I'm caught up on everything. So yes, anyway, Next Gen NYC Season 1 Episode 5, Zero Bucks Given. Y'all make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video that I drop. Y'all make sure we are liking all the videos, y'all, so I can stay in the algorithm of things. That would be great. Welcome new subscribers. I hope y'all like my content. And last but not least, for those who actually celebrate the 4th of July, y'all happy 4th of July. But there are those who don't, and then they decide to cook some good food. That is good too. And yes, without further ado, okay. So yeah, the episode picks up with Ariana. She's asking Ava, we had that little continuation of that argument. She asks Ava, like, why you coming for my brand? You don't know nothing about it. Ava hit y'all, Ava hit her with that Ashley Darby. She was like, babe, I didn't come for your brand. I was like, you kind of did. All I said was I was surprised that you came to NYC for fashion. I was like, okay. But hey, Ava said she said it, and that's just what it is. So Gia asks, why is it surprising? People come to NYC all the time for fashion. And so, of course, y'all, Ava's like, why is Gia talking for Adriana, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't have never said anything. Like, if you wanted to offer assist, you should have. But, it is what it is. Ava's definitely handling her business. So Brooks said he was uncomfortable, as you should be. Because you kind of lit the match when you said something. I do think Brooks need to grow some balls, like, because he has 0, but I still like Brooks. Ava, but to me, this whole argument, they just kept going back and forth. It was just pointless. It is what it is. So Riley says, my name is Bennett, I'm not in it, and we break this argument up with a happy birthday song to Chloe, okay? So we get to Georgia. Georgia wants to be an entrepreneur. Georgia is boring to me. Meredith, again, I really don't have much on Georgia. I just want to let y'all know that. So Meredith, again, I think at this point I'm overseeing Meredith. We find out Brooks been styling his mom for years. So we get back over to Georgia and Danny, and her boyfriend Danny. He's hosting an event. She's hosting an event for Meredith. And we find out that Georgia never watched SLC. Danny, and then Danny, no, I'm not, that's not her boyfriend. I'm sorry, Danny is her friend. She's another person that's in business with her. I'm sorry, y'all. So we find out, Danny also mentions that if any of the housewives come, they would need to bring that Danny and Georgia would need to hire security. And I'm like, really, girl? Anyway, Brooks, back over to Meredith and Brooks. Brooks gets frustrated about the text his mama sent about his lack of, and how he missed something and it messed up whatever it is they had going on. Only thing I would like to say for me to Brooks, like, if you're working for your mom, you would need to grow. You would need to show up better than what you do. You need to learn constructive criticism, especially if you're trying to carry your own brand. Like, Brooks, to me, I feel like he plays up a damsel in distress all the time with his friend group, with his mom, and I think sometimes with Seth. It's like you always want to be the damsel. You always want to be the one where it's woe is me, and if you say something to me, I'm highly sensitive. So you can't say anything sensitive to me, and that aggravates me. Like, what I feel like I have more balls than Brooks. Like, and I don't know if it's because I'm older, but I feel like a lot of like Brooks, I've never been built like that. Like, I've always had to be strong, even at his age. It's just amazing. Like, he just always want to play the damsel in distress. Anyway, we find out Ava had to make her own money. We go over to Charlie and Dylan. Their apartment is nasty. Dylan said living with Charlie is fun, but sometimes it can be too much. For me, I would always think that Charlie is very exhausting at his big old age. Riley and Ariana. Why? Listen, y'all, I kept calling that girl Adriana. Her name is Ariana. My bad. Riley said Ava mom picks out her outfit, so why is she talking about Ariana? And so, because her mom is a clothing designer. I never heard of her mom, but I never even Googled her mom, I guess. Anyway, Ariana said that she's an artist, basically, and she's sensitive about her all right? So, they had this cute gas stove. And y'all know we haven't seen a gas stove in years. We use electric now, but I remember when I was younger, and in my mom's, I'm from the Ninth Ward, so I used to live in the projects. If you know, you know. And we had that gas stove, and it would be like, you know, it made all this crazy noise to turn on. But hey, it worked. I just haven't seen a gas stove in forever. All right. So Charlie met up with Ava. They go over to the Slutty Vegan, where I know she had a Slutty Vegan in I think Atlanta. I want to say there's a Slutty Vegan. I thought that there was a Slutty Vegan here in Dallas, somewhere in Deep Ellum. I want to say I thought I saw one. She also has one in NYC. So apparently Dame is going to actually take over that Slutty Vegan because the owner apparently can't handle it. Charlie apparently have a master's degree in hospitality management, and that was just to get Anwar off his ass. He's really not passionate about it at all, so I think somehow he's going to help Dame get the liquor license, and he has to borrow money from his dad. And I'm just like, at this point now, I'm questioning Charlie's finances. Like, do you actually have the money, or do you just get it, invest some, and throw the rest away because you know you're going to get more? Do you even save money? Like, I have so many questions, especially when it comes to the living situation with Charlie and Dylan. Like, I don't know. I feel like Dylan is footing all the bills while Charlie gets over. That's why I feel like Charlie needs to be on another reality show with a group of adults his own age, not with these young kids. Anyway, back over to Georgia. Y'all, Georgia is boring as okay. And she's nasty AF. Because why are you burping in your friend's face? And she was burping in somebody's face. I think they showed like a flashback. I don't know. Georgia's boyfriend tells her that he loves her, and they've been together for 2 months. And I was like, I guess. He looked like a liar to me, but he said he didn't mean it. I think Georgia thinks that he's on bullshit. So do I. Moving forward, we get to Meredith's event. Why is Louis on my TV screen? Okay. I love Gia's eyes. The event was cute. Georgia and Danny did really good at Meredith's event. They did a really excellent job. I think it was like they was eating. Oh, Meredith was having an event for her caviar line, I want to say. And so yeah, it was good. Charlie is calling Georgia because he wants his speaker. And I'm just like, are you really pressed for these speakers? are they really yours, or is it really your speaker? Did you rent the speaker? Like, I don't understand why he's so pressed about it, but I guess it's his speaker. It is what it is. So Seth is being a weirdo, but I like him. Ava arrives almost at the end of the party, or towards the end of the party, or at the end of the party. Ava says she was attacked by Ariana and Gia. But did they really attack you, though? I really need y'all to stop using that word attack. Anyway, she showed up, like I said, she showed up extremely late. Amira said that Ava left a bad taste in her mouth. And then she also says that she has a sense of entitlement since she has a sense of entitlement. But Ava left a bad taste in Amira's mouth since she had talked about Ariana. Anyway, the next day, we see Candy, Todd, Ace, and the little one. That I forgot her name. But hey, y'all, like, I miss them. I miss seeing them on my screen, okay? I got excited, okay? Like, for me, I was excited. Anyway, y'all always got my girl Candy eating something, okay? If one thing, Candy ain't gonna do one thing, my girl gonna eat, okay? So Riley doesn't want to move back to Atlanta because she feels like she's gonna be in Candy's shadow, and she want to make her own lane. And so Todd was like, I agree. He said because when he's in ATL, they're like, you know, you Candy's husband, but then when he back at home in NYC, they'll be like, what's up, Todd? I mean, we always gonna be like, you know, that's Todd Tuckerburris, okay? Okay. But we like Todd. Anyway, Riley tells Candy she wants to be a DJ. Candy said, what about law school? She said, when you were little, they had Riley future planned. And she was supposed to be a lawyer. And I was like, Candy, you know that don't go like that. Like, did you and Mama Joyce have something planned? Mama Joyce wanted you to do something else, but you was like, Mama, I want to sing. Who came up with that stage play? Was that a real stage play? Mama, I want to sing? I don't know. That's not how that work, Candy. You know that. All right? But Riley, I need you to get it together. Okay? So Ariana joins them. And Ariana says she don't want to talk about their mom. She said that in her confessional. Candy actually loved the fact that Riley and Ariana are friends. So Todd asked, like, so what's going on with that dude? The dude y'all was telling us about. So Charlie apparently is mad at Riley. Charlie asked Riley to split a table with him at some nightclub. And then Charlie brought along 10 hoes. And Riley didn't have anywhere to sit. And so Charlie and his hoes drunk up all the 1942 she purchased. At this point, Candy is annoyed because not with my motherfucking credit card I gave to you and I'm paying the bill on. And so Riley told her. So I was like, well, how much was the total? So it was like $14,000. But they're splitting it in half. He is supposed to take that, what's his name? Charlie is supposed to take one half. And Riley is going to take the other half. But then Amira and Riley was splitting their half. And then Candy was like, listen, obviously you have too much money to blow. So I was like, oh wow, okay. Child. Anyway, we find out Charlie is still begging from Anwar. Dylan asked if Dylan met up with Charlie, and he asked Riley if Riley paid for her table. Charlie assumed so because Riley said to him, we don't need your money. And he was like, say less. Y'all, Charlie is a user. Okay? He want to get on this show and try to use these younger kids. But to me, I feel like they're much more smarter than his dumb ass. So it almost feels like when him at the end, and I'm not there yet, but when him and Georgia got into it, it was almost like I'm done using Georgia, because I felt like he's really utilized Georgia until he couldn't use her no more. So now you're on to the next one. That's how I feel. So Dylan says his friends are trust fund babies, but he's always paying the bill, and the camera pans right onto Charlie while he's sitting there eating. And then Charlie, we find out, Dylan said Charlie usually tells him that he'll pay when his dad give him the money. So again, my question is, who's paying the bills in y'all condo / apartment or whatever? Are you, Dylan, fully footing all the bills, or is Charlie actually paying his portion? And if not, is he telling you to pay and then he'll pay you back and he never does? Like, I don't know. So Hudson apparently had to even up the bill, and take the other half, I guess, that Charlie didn't take. And Charlie is saying that Riley said, we don't need your money. And then Charlie says, Hudson said, Hudson was like, bitch, I can use some of that money. Did who? Okay, we gonna really need to clear this up, because that just spoke out to me, because yeah, I don't know. So Dylan said Charlie moves through the world getting what he wants, and he doesn't apply himself to work wild things. Dylan also said that he have to respect the hustle, but at the same time it troubles him. He also says that he don't think Charlie takes responsibility, and he don't. Also, Dylan says he empathized with Charlie and he's just trying to figure it out. At his big ass age, you should have some things figured out, okay? I feel like Charlie knows how to play on their hearts, on those young people heartstrings, like, and that is just that. It's like nobody, because you know what's going on with Charlie, but then you want to extend all this grace to him. So I feel like he uses his dad as an excuse to get over on this friend group a lot. Anyway, Charlie wants to know, what does Riley do for a living? And what Riley doing and not doing for a living is any of your business. At this point, Riley do the same thing you do, but you do it so well. You don't do a damn thing. Okay? So what she does has no effect on you. And then I also kind of feel like, how do you not know what Riley does for a living? Like, are you not asking her? Are you not? Because apparently that is your friend. That is more of your friend than Dylan's friend. Anyway, I feel like Riley had to probably clock him again. And I really want y'all to get Charlie off my screen. Like, I need him to be on another show, not this. He needs to be at another show. He can still be on reality TV, because I feel like Charlie is reality TV gold. I just don't think he's gold here. You're too old. Like, you need to go. So everybody meets up except for Ava and Charlie. Ava is in the Hamptons and Charlie has COVID. And somebody mentioned me, he probably got COVID from one of them hoes. Okay, he probably did. So Charlie owes Amira, Dylan, Riley, and Georgia, and whoever that friend of person was, I didn't catch his name. He owes him money. And so we find out Charlie always bring multiple women while his friends picked up the tab. And I was like, that's not okay. Anyway, Georgia says she know how much his dad gives him monthly. Riley was like, well, how much is his dad give him, girl? Okay, let us know. So Georgia was like, I don't want to say, that's not my place to say, but Georgia says she's worried about him. Why? Because he don't give a damn about you. So Brooks asks Charlie about turning 30, and he gets defensive and says to Brooks, how is Amira how old is Amara, because we're almost the same age. And I was like, excuse me? Not me, but Amara was like, excuse me? I am not Charlie's age, okay? So we find out that Brooks is turning 25. So he's in a quarter life crisis. And I was just like, I guess Brooks. Anyway, Charlie's still asking for his speakers. And I'm just like, girl, give this man his motherfucking speakers, okay? But at the same time, you begging for your speakers, but then you owe all these damn people money, okay? So, Charlie, you can take your bum ass somewhere and go somewhere, because we don't have time for this, all right? So Georgia says all Charlie do is wake up, smoke weed, skateboard, and watch South Park. Or he ride his electric scooter. And I'm just like, Anwar, you are enabling Charlie. Anwar is an enabler. He's an enabler who wants to control Charlie. And he controls Charlie through his money. Anyway, they need help. And they need Jesus. Anyway, Georgia says she fell into a career she loves doing what she do. She don't think Charlie is close. She says he don't need to figure it out because he gets a monthly allowance for his dad. No, girl, whatever her name is, he absolutely do need to figure this out. Okay? So he's still texting Georgia about them damn speakers. Okay? So y'all, Georgia said it's because he could be turning 30. And to me, he's not that old. Like, I don't know. It's just too many excuses. Hold on. So Dylan said he's getting himself back on track and focused for the next month. He said because all Charlie does is party, and that isn't productive, and Charlie is not the best influence on him. Dylan also admits that he's also admitted to being distracted from his own goals. Dylan says that Charlie needs to grow up, and he thinks it's crazy to tell someone at Charlie's age to grow up. Sir, there are people my age and older that you still have to tell to grow up. Anyway, Dylan thinks it's a consequence of Anwar's that stunts Charlie's individuality, growth, and ability to be independent. And he don't think Charlie wants those things anyway. And I tell y'all, I so agree. And in that moment, it also showed me that Dylan is emotionally aware. Like, he's aware of Charlie, who he is. But I think everybody plays the denial part. I don't know why. I don't think it's a matter of being scared of Charlie. I just think that they give him too much of a pass. Anyway, Charlie meets up with Georgia. They get into it. He calls her stupid, delusional. And then Charlie says to Georgia, like, you're on this TV show because of me. She throw everybody under the bus. And she said, that's why everybody hates you. And he then tells her, if you were a man, I would slap the shit out of you. And I was like, are you serious? But I didn't like how Georgia was like, that's why everybody hates you. No, don't throw everybody under the bus. Yeah, they may have said it, but it could have been a time and a place. But Georgia, you an asshole. Charlie is an asshole. I want those two off of my screen. You can place them with two more New York people. And that's where the episode ends. Like, I did not like, let me say this. I didn't like how Charlie was handling Georgia. And we all know it wasn't about the speaker. It's about something else. He already admitted to Ava in the beginning of the episode, early on in the episode, how his friendship with Georgia, and I didn't mention it, but his friendship with Georgia is starting to fade. And I kind of feel like, I think he's mad at Georgia because as long as they have been doing this show, I think Georgia has gotten close to the housewives kids, and he feels a way about that because Georgia's head is not up his ass anymore. Y'all, I'm sorry, that's what I think. I think Charlie is an asshole, and I think he needs people around him. He wants minions because that's how his dad view him, as a minion. Now, that is that on that. I will see y'all in the next video.